My name is Saiteja from ECB section. Today my topic in microprocessor is testing embedded software. Difference between embedded software and application testing. The embedded software must run reliable without crashing for long period of time. Embedded software is often used in application in which human lives are at stake. Embedded systems are often so cost sensitive that the software has little or no margin for inefficiency of many kind. Embedded software must often compensate for problems with the embedded hardware. The real world events are usually asynchronous and non deterministic, making simulation test difficulties and unreliable. Your company can be sued if your code fails. Embedded software differs from application testing in four major ways. First, because real time, the concurrency are hard to get right. A lot of testing focus on real time behavior. Second, because most embedded systems are resource constrained real time systems, more performance and capacity testing are required. Third, you can use some real time trace tools to measure how well the tests are covering the codes. Fourth, you will probably test to have a higher level of reliability than if you were testing application software. Dimensions of integration. There are the three dimensions: hardware, software, and real time. Real time failure modes. At a minimum, the test should generate both typical and worst case real time situation. In in every real time system, a certain combination of events, call them critical sequence, cause the greater delay from an event trigger to the event response. For some real time tasks, the notation of deadline is more important than latency. Real time failure modes. Another category of failure is created when the system is forced to run at or near full capacity for extended periods. Through testing of real time behavior often required that the embedded system be attached to a custom hardware simulation environment. Measuring test coverage. Software based emulators and integrated devices, electronics. ID. Software instrumentation without audios and without device are the software instrumentation. Without audios are possibly not supported and high intrusion. With RTOS, less intensive and more limits. Measuring more than statement execution. If condition is true, then do these statements. Code following else less if A or B, then do this statement. Hardware instrumentation. In this hardware instrumentation, it consists of three: emulation memory, logical analyzer, and software performance analyzer. These are the three hardware instrumentations. Performance testing. The content of the instruction and data case at the time the function is entered. RTO's task loading, interrupt and other restriction, data processing requirements in the function. Summary. The maintenance and testing, the end of the product development cycle, is where the testing usually occurs. It would be the better to test in a progressive manner rather than waiting until the end. But for practical reasons, some testing must await. In the maintenance and testing, the end of the product development cycle is where testing usually occurs. It would be better to test in a progressive manner rather than waiting until the. But for practical reasons, some testing must wait. Testability should be a key requirement in every project. With a modern SOC designs, testability is become a primary decision in the process selection process. Finally, testing is enough that you must have some measure to ensure the effectiveness of your text. The real-time failure modes. At a minimum, the test should generate both typical and worst-case real-time situation. In every real-time system, a certain combination of events, call them critical sequence, cause the greater delay from an event trigger to the event response. For some real-time task, the notification of deadline is more important than latency. Real-time failure modes. Another category of failures is creating when the system is forced to run at or near full capacity for extending periods. Through testing of real-time behavior often requires that the embedded system can attach it to be a custom hardware simulation environment. Measuring of test coverage by using software-based emulator IDE of integrated device electronics. Software instrumentation without RTOS possibly not supported high intrusion without RTOS less instruction memory limits. Measuring more than statement execution. If condition is true, then do these statements. If the condition if A or B, then do this statement. The code following else if statements. Hardware instrumentation, emulation memory, logical analyzer, software performance analyzer. Performance testing, contents of instructions and data case at the time of function is entered. RTOS task loading, interrupts and other executions. Data processing requirement in the function. Thank you.